I stood in the doorway, watching laughter ripple around the dining table. Crystal glasses chimed together, knives sliced into steaks dripping with butter. My wife's family sat gathered in my own home, celebrating a feast I hadn't even been asked to join. It was my birthday. "Make sure you clean up after us," her mother smirked, her tone sharp as if I were nothing more than a servant trespassing in their world. My wife chuckled softly at her remark. That was the instant something inside me went still. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I simply turned away, grabbed my wallet, and walked out into the night. Once, I had loved her, blindly, fiercely. When we first met, she was drowning in bills and endless emergencies. I paid without hesitation. I helped her family, too, covering their rent when money ran short, fixing what was broken, paying hospital costs when her father fell ill. They called me reliable. They said I was family. But over the years, the tone shifted. Gratitude faded into entitlement. My generosity became their expectation. My kindness was nothing but currency to them. Their laughter grew louder when I wasn't around. Their conversations freer in my absence. I was no longer a husband. I was a walking wallet with a pulse. Still I tried. I held on. I wanted to believe, until tonight. Truth doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. It hid in the way my wife smiled at her phone with a grin that wasn't meant for me. The way her mother's eyes narrowed whenever I walked in, as if I had disrupted something unspoken. The way her brothers joked about easy money when they thought I wasn't listening. But the final wound wasn't in whispers or side comments. It was this dinner, my birthday wiped away, my existence treated like an afterthought, their celebration a mockery. I didn't feel rage then. I felt clarity. Betrayal doesn't break me. It sharpens me. Months ago, I had already started protecting myself. Call it instinct. I moved assets quietly, carefully. Accounts set up in only my name. Investments shifted. Properties transferred. Every document signed with precision. Every step hidden. They thought they had drained me. They never saw what lay beneath the surface. And tonight, I decided how it would end. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. I simply walked away, my silence cutting sharper than any insult. While they gorged themselves on wine and meat, I sat alone in a restaurant worthy of my birthday. Candlelight glowed, soft jazz floated, and a steak melted on my tongue like truth. Between bites, I wrote the letter. It didn't take many words. It didn't need them. I thanked my wife for showing me what I truly meant to her. I listed every bill I had paid, every loan I had covered, every debtors I had erased. Then I explained calmly that I had shut down accounts, changed the locks, and filed for divorce. At the bottom, I left one final line. You celebrated without me. Now live without me. When I came home, the feast was over, the laughter gone. Only dirty plates and spilled wine remained. I set the letter down on the same table where they had toasted without me and left. By morning, the storm erupted. My phone buzzed with calls, messages, voicemails. I ignored them all. The first call was confusion. The second, panic. By the third, her voice cracked, pleading for answers. I gave none. Later, I heard from a mutual friend. She had found the letter while her mother was still mocking me, telling her to make sure the fool cleaned up. Her laughter stopped mid-breath when she read my words. Her face drained of color when she realized the accounts were empty, and her mother, the loudest voice of all, fell silent, the truth choking her louder than any argument could. I didn't see it myself. I didn't need to. People expect anger when betrayal is exposed. But I chose silence. And silence unsettled them far more than rage ever could. They expected me to beg, to cling, to keep pouring into their bottomless hunger. Instead, I disappeared, calm final. I cleaned nothing. Not the dishes, not their mess, not their chaos. I only cleaned myself out of their lives, out of my home, out of my heart. And when I signed the final divorce papers weeks later, I felt no regret, no longing, only clarity. They will curse me, call me cruel, twist the story as they wish. Let them, because in the end, betrayal gave me freedom, and revenge, and revenge was nothing more than leaving them to choke on the silence I left behind.